Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Good evening or good morning, depending on whichever part of the world you are joining us from. Today, you're welcome to the September 2023 edition of Clan Initiative Monthly Green Webinar Series. And we are very happy and excited to see you all again today. Clan Initiative, we are committed to always bringing different topics, bringing different perspectives, and just ensuring that we keep the public and everyone aware of the latest trends in terms of environment, sustainability, public health, and environmental health. So today we'll be looking at embracing new attitudes and values towards a circular economy. Very soon we'll be having our guests join us and other participants, but we can just start the conversation. We can just open the floor by, sharing what you know about or what you think about circular economy, about the environment, about sustainability, and, just share your thoughts generally about maybe something that's been pressing on your mind or bothering you so far on environment and sustainability. So today we are going to start by opening the floor with contributions, questions on environment, sustainability, and circular economy. So please feel free to start to unmute your mic, introduce yourself, tell us where you're speaking from or where you're joining from, and tell us what you'd like to share. I didn't introduce myself earlier, so sorry. My name is Ayomide Aroshegbe. I'm the founder of Cleaner and Healthier Nature Initiative, and I'm happy to be here today hosting our September 2023 Green Webinar Series. So please, we can start the conversation by talking on circular economy, environment, sustainability. So you can just raise your hand or type in the chat box. Um, yeah, while we talk about that. Does anyone have anything to say as we start? Hello, can anyone hear me? If you can hear me, can you just probably raise your hand or unmute to confirm that I'm audible?
Good evening, Mide. We're hearing you.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. All right, thank you, Toluani. Are you raising your hand to talk or? Okay,
Good
okay,
evening. Good evening. Yes, just raising my hand to say that yes, you can hear loud and clear.
okay. Awesome. All right. Okay. Yeah. So please, anyone, feel free to um, start the chat or start the conversation with whatever questions or whatever thoughts you have or whatever contributions you have. I think Chukudi has unmuted his mic.
Yeah, good evening.
Um,
Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you, Chukudi.
Okay, good evening. I got something here, but I don't know because I need to show you guys. I saw it and it's not made from plastic. It's a cup, that is made from rice. Rice, what is this? It was quite amazing. Rice husk. I've not seen this before.
Mm.
I don't know how I can. Maybe I'll send it to you, and you can just put it to the group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Thank you. So, do you know if it's compostable or recyclable?
It's compostable.
Okay.
So I'll just send you the picture now. Yeah.
All right.
That's to show you that the whole world is going green, you know. And like you said earlier, in Nigeria, when you get to buy, I'm just experiencing that here. When you get to buy things from the supermarkets, they'll keep giving you nylon, But here, if you go and you buy things 10 times, you have to pay for that nylon 10 times.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
when you do that, you know that.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Chukudi. You can go ahead. That's what you're saying.
So I'm just talking about my experience, because I thought it was normal when you just buy your provision, they'll just put it in the plastic bag for you. But lo and behold, they told me to pay some money for the plastic. I was like, in Nigeria, this thing, you will just dash you plastic bag like that, plenty of it. How come you are telling me to pay? But that's like encouraging you to reuse the ones you have, instead of getting a new one environment, So it was quite encouraging, but I don't know how we can emulate that in our dear country. So I've sent you the picture of what I was talking about.
Yeah, I see. I see. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Chukudi. So we are still expecting our guest. I don't know, probably due to one reason or the other, for him to join. But I will just start the webinar. I'll just start the conversation by talking about circular economy, just to give us a picture, a basic background about circular economy. For some of us that have been like, oh, what is circular economy? What are they talking about? So I'll just start. I don't know what the guests will be talking about, but I'll just start the webinar by sharing. So when we talk about any economy, when we talk about anything economy, there are like three basic things that happen in every economy, like three things that you cannot separate or remove from every economy. So the first is production. The second one is trading, which involves buying and selling. And the third one is consumption. So human needs are insatiable. And to satisfy human needs, someone has to produce something. Someone has to make that need that will satisfy that human need. Someone has to produce it. Someone has to make it. And when someone makes it or when someone produces it, it's not going to end, in the person's house or just for the person to decorate or just for the fun of it. The person also wants to extend it or send it to whoever he has made it for or whoever will be needing it. So that moves to the second phase or activity that happens in any economy, which is trading, which is buying and selling. So the producer sells it and the person that needs it comes to buy it. And when the person gets it, the person has to consume it. So when you're talking of consumption, it doesn't have to do only with what we eat or what we, talking about basically goods and services, things that we need, food, clothing, shelter, mobility, fashion, and all the likes. So now we have a basic background of what we're talking about in terms of economy. We've talked about economy as production, trading, and consumption. So at the end of the consumption, or what happens at the consumption phase or at the consumption part of the economy, is that if it's not well managed, there's always waste. Waste is like inevitable at the end of consumption. So let's say you buy clothes, let's say you buy food, let's say you buy this, whatever you buy, at some point you are fully satisfied and you have enjoyed what you need. So something comes out of what you have eaten or what you have bought or what you use. Maybe it's old and you feel like, no, I don't need this again. Maybe, yeah, I've used it to my satisfaction. I don't want to use this again. Or maybe you have eaten, you bought some food and you really enjoy the food and you feel like, oh, I think I'm satisfied. I think I'm full and I think it's okay. I don't want to eat again. So at the end of consumption or at the consumption part or the activity of the circular economy of the economy, don't let me jump right now, of the economy, there will be waste. Now, what happens to this waste that is generated? what happens to this waste that is generated? And that brings the question of, is it going to be a circular economy or is it going to be a linear economy? Sorry, please, let's ensure we mute our mics, and the co-hosts, please help mute anyone that's probably unmuting. So it looks like the Meetupper's mic is unmuted. So going back to what I was sharing about the economy. So don't let us forget, in every economy, three things happen: production, trading, and consumption. And after consumption, definitely waste will come. So in time past, after after consuming whatever product you get, or whatever good or whatever service that you get, it just goes to the landfill. It just, it's either thrown away, it just ends anywhere. Nobody really, I've enjoyed what I need. I've enjoyed the service I need. I've enjoyed what I bought. I've enjoyed this clothes. I've enjoyed this food. I've enjoyed this phone. I've enjoyed this computer. I've enjoyed this device. And, I don't need it again. Let me just like throw it off. And that has resulted in a linear economy, like in the recent years or in time past. So by linear economy, we mean that, yes, the material is produced, going back to the three basic or three activities that happen in any economy, going back to that. So the material is produced, it is sold, trading, which is either buying or selling, has taken place, and the person has needs, like the person that needs it, the consumer has purchased it and consumed it, and the end is just waste. It just goes to wherever, maybe to the landfill or wherever. So now the concept of circular economy is ensuring that after consumption, how do we ensure that whatever waste that is generated from what has been consumed, from the consumption part or from the consumption stage of the economy, whatever waste is generated goes back, from the word circle, circle is round. So the concept of circular economy is ensuring or saying that whatever waste is generated at the third stage of an economy, which is consumption, how can we ensure that this waste goes back into the flow of production to make it circle, to ensure that we have minimal, minimal or zero waste? So at this phase now, some people are even looking at how do we ensure that there is zero waste? It's a journey, like it's a journey, it's a long distance, but the goal or the final endpoint is, to achieve an economy that is zero waste, zero waste. So, and like I said earlier, human wants or human needs, they are insatiable. We want the best clothes, we want the new clothes, we want the new things, we want the new phone. Maybe you bought a particular phone and oh, this food is not spicy, it's not peppery, this and that. Oh, I'm full, I'm satisfied. And in some parts of the world, due to very interrupted supply of energy or low supply of energy, that would help to like refrigerate or preserve food. So sometimes maybe there's like blackout, or there's no light, or there's no supply of electricity for days or for weeks, or for months, and there's nothing. So the food that the person bought is now spoiled, and I feel like, oh, because of the sake of my health, for my health's sake or for my children's sake, we can't eat this food again. So I'm going to trash it out. I'm going to toss it out. I'm just going to throw it away, you know, ending in waste, which is not, good or healthy for the environment. And we should not forget that whatever happens to the environment, or whatever we do to the environment, whatever impact that we have as humans on the environment, will definitely or eventually come back to us, because everything is just interconnected. Everything is just interconnected. Looking at the concept of biodiversity or the ecosystem, we need the plants need us, we need the animals, we need the ocean, because it's just like a cycle, just like a cycle. So basically what the circular economy is trying to say is help us, save money, make the planet better, and, also for our health's sake. And everything ties up into sustainability. When we think of sustainability, we think about the three E's. When we think of sustainability, it's sustainability is just at the center of the three E's. What I mean by the three E's are environment, economy, and equity. So some people say three P's, some people say three P or 3 E's. So 3P, I think 3E is for people that are looking at, social equity, but 3P, I think 3P is kind of general for everybody. 3P, you're looking at people, planet, and profit. So I think that's like the basic and that's like the direct that everyone can easily understand. So people, profit, and planet. So, and sustainability is at the center of these three things. Sustainability is just like a guy that is trying to hold. I don't know if he has three hands. I know there's no human being that has three hands, but sustainability is like a guy that has three hands. You know, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. So he's holding the planet here. He's holding profit here, and he's holding people here. That ha, I want to ensure that the people are good, the people are healthy. I want to ensure that the planet is clean and healthy, like people at Clan Initiative. I want to ensure that people are making profits. So when you think of circular economy and when you think of sustainability, circular economy is more like a subset of achieving sustainability or making the planet or making the people more sustainable, right? So basically, circular economy is ensuring that we have reduction, less virgin materials or less process of having to start to produce whatever we need to satisfy my wants. Don't let us forget, in every economy, back to my first point, in every economy, there are three basic activities or three basic things that you cannot separate from an economy. Yeah, production, buying and selling, and consumption. And circular economy is now bringing that perspective, bringing that idea to ensure that from the production phase. You know, in time past, we have connected everything to consumption, saying that, oh, yes, we have produced it, we have sold it, and anyone that is consuming, the responsibility should just be on the consumer to ensure that, oh, I do not toss it to the trash bin for it to end on the landfill. So now circular economy is actually starting from the production phase, making it easier for the rest of the processes, making it easier for recycling, making it easier for whatever you want to bring back to the beginning of the loop to happen. So circular economy is starting from the production, ensuring that whatever materials, whatever things that are put into production, they are able to like go back and they are able to like go or flow back into the cycle or into the cycle from the beginning. So let's say, for example, I'm a manufacturer of a pencil, I'm a manufacturer of a plastic bottle, for example. How do I ensure that by the time that whatever I'm producing, my product, my goods, or my services, how do I ensure that by the time they are flowing through all the stages or through all the phases of the economy, from me in production, from the person that will sell it, and from the final person that will consume, how do I ensure that by the time the consumer is done and is satisfied, while thinking of the planet, is able to like send it back to us and we are able to use it. And that just, flows back into the economy and that just continues and that just closes the loop. Because currently we are thinking of climate change and most time we just connect climate change to air pollution, but there are other sources of it, of air pollution, and some of these are waste. By the time they end on the landfill for a long time, recently I started learning about groundwater quality. Some of these waste, by the time they end up on the landfill, they release leachates. By the time the sun reacts to them, there's liquid coming out of them, and they affect the quality of the groundwater in different places. So currently in the US, even some people they don't want landfill to be in their in their city because the US they some of them have to drink tap water, some of them have to drink water that is coming from spring or from water sources. So they believe when some of these leachates, when they start going into the groundwater, they affect the quality and the health of the water that will eventually be supplied to them. So it's a very, very, very basic concept and a very important subject that we need to, start thinking about, starting from the producer, like I said, going into people that are selling, but because we as humans, we are we are first conscious of our profits. And that's why I describe sustainability as a guy that has three hands. I know there's no human, in reality, there's no human being that has three hands. But let's just view sustainability as a guy or as a human that has three hands. And is carrying three babies and ensuring that these three babies do not fall. I have to hold them tight. if you have twins, you can just carry the Yoruba will say Taiwan and Kehinde. You can carry the first and the second both. But if you have triplets and you have just twins, it might be a bit difficult. But anyway, let's see sustainability as the possibility of someone having three hands and holding the people, planet, and profit together. How do I ensure that I make profit and ensure that I'm also thinking about the planet and I'm also thinking about the people? In advanced level, like I said earlier, we talk about the three E's. We talk about the environment, we talk about equity, and we talk about the economy. So equity is talking about, ensuring that everyone has access to the good, everyone has access to a good environment, everyone has access to climate change resilience, climate change mitigation, climate change adaptation. You know, we don't really have issues with probably racism or trying to segregate or redlining as such, but in some climes of the world, because of, different colors, different races, there are some people that have access to a cleaner air or cleaner environment more than some other people. Anyway, I don't want to, digress too much. Just trying to bring together our focus on our topic on circular economy. So ensuring that whatever is produced, whatever is made, whatever is got, whatever is consumed, we are thinking of ways by which we can reduce waste. And someone is asking here, can we have an environment with zero waste? Honestly, it's possible. It's possible, but it will take a lot
Are
of
you,
work.
are you sure? I doubt you.
It will take a lot of work, and it will take a lot of it will take a lot of it will take it might not happen like some of my professors, some of my lecturers, what they say, they said, I don't know if this will happen in my lifetime. They'll say, I don't know if this will happen in my lifetime,
Zero waste.
but I don't know if this will happen in my lifetime. So what you can say is that it might be impossible to have a world without a world with zero waste. But some people, you can have probably a community or a part of the world that is trying to achieve zero waste, and some people they are really ensuring that to ensure that whatever food waste you generate, whatever materials you generate is able to like come back into the loop. So some states in the US or some parts of the world, they have a three-bin system ensuring that, okay, let's say you generate food waste, how do we ensure that that is compostable? How do we ensure that we take that to a compost facility and we can recycle that, and that becomes like manure or fertilizer that we can use or plow back to planting and to bringing more food. So, and let's say you generate plastic waste, tin or metal. How can we use that as, materials to process some other materials that we need, some other future materials or better materials or bigger materials that we need? But there are some ways that are not recyclable, and that's the truth. Because when I was in Nigeria, I worked with some recycling companies, and even in the recycling company, we still add wastes. Yeah, we still had waste that we were looking for how to send to the landfill, or we were looking for somebody to, buy this waste or take this waste out. But essentially, circular economy is that effort. So I won't say is that, achieving the zero is like Olayinka's asked, is that effort, pushing and trying that effort to ensure that whatever happens in the economy, don't forget production, commerce or trading and consumption, whatever flows through these three different aspects of an economy. And that's why we call it circular economy. The opposite of circular economy is linear economy. That means I produce it, Chukwudi buys or sells it, and Olayinka, the consumer, he consumes it, and we don't care about what happens to it again. So I'm producing it. Who wants to buy? Chukwudi, Egone, he buys whatever he needs to buy. Olayinka is,
That's
oh,
what
I need
practice in Nigeria. Linear economy.
linear economy. Olayinka is like, oh, I need a new phone, I need chicken, I need this, I need that, whatever. And okay, I've enjoyed my food, I've enjoyed my Nike shoe, I've enjoyed whatever I need to enjoy, and I don't need it again. I'm just going to toss it into the waste bin. And Loma comes, or your state waste management authority, or Edo waste, whatever, they take it, and they put it in their compactor or in their truck. They drive to the landfill and they take it out. But now the circular economy is thinking about, okay, right from the producer, right from myself, just putting myself as a producer, right from myself as a producer, I'm thinking before this material or before this product leaves my company, before it leaves, how do I ensure that the contents that I'm using or the material that I'm using, how do I ensure that this will be able to come back or return to me as a producer? So by the time I sell it, essentially, the person that is buying and the person that is selling might not really have too much to do because they are just like an intermediary. They are just taking it from the producer and they are looking for who needs to buy it. So essentially, the major role or the bulk of effort, lies between the producer and the consumer. And that is what we have a concept that I would like to talk about here, which is EPR, Extended Producer Responsibility. That is happening a little bit in Nigeria, it's happening here too, but, not talking too much about the side of greenwashing because some of these extended producer responsibility, I like to always be honest and be clear about what is actually happening. Beg your pardon. So some of these extended producer responsibilities are, in some cases, there are a little bit of greenwashing there, but truly and essentially, extended producer responsibility is ensuring and mandating producers that whatever comes out of your factory, whatever comes out of your facility or company, and whenever it gets to the society, whenever it gets to the community, whenever people get it, whenever people buy it, and after consumption, it becomes waste. How do you ensure that this product from your company do not become an issue in the society or in the environment? How do we ensure that it doesn't become a menace? It doesn't become an eyesore. It doesn't become an issue that cause aquatic pollution, water pollution, or we generate a lot of climate crisis and waste issues in the environment. So mandating them to bring up initiatives, programs, and a lot of things to ensure that we have a minimal reduction, a very, very minimal reduction of how much of their waste generated from those companies or from those industries affects or, impact the environment, basically. Yeah, so that is basically the simple and straightforward concept of circular economy. I think by now I want to pause a little bit to entertain questions, thoughts, queries. I don't know why our guest is not still here, but I hope I've been able to give us a little bit of background or understanding of the circular economy. Yeah. So I like to break it down when I'm talking about it to economy. So when you think of any economy, it's production, sales, buying and selling, trading, and consumption. So whatever you need or whatever you use as a consumer, it was produced somewhere. And basically, most consumers, they don't buy from the producers. Most consumers, they don't buy, even the producers, they don't want you to actually really buy from them. So you have to buy from someone selling it. So basically, that's the concept of circular economy. Yeah. And today we are thinking of embracing new attitudes and new values toward a circular economy. So there are basic ways that this could happen. So our guest that's supposed to come today is in the upcycling parts. He upcycles waste materials. So the first illustration that I gave, it basically describes how whatever waste is generated from consumption goes back to the producer. But sometimes it doesn't really have to go back to the producer. So like the person that is upcycling this tire into chairs, into seats, into furnitures, it wasn't the one that made the tires. It wasn't the one that produced tires. But in a way, we are able to use, the waste is able to upcycle and beautify and add some features and add some colors and add some functions to what somebody has thrown away as a waste. Definitely that, yeah, this particular tire has served me for, let's say, 2 years or 3 years. And by standard, the Federal Road Safety Corporation or whoever regulates tire or in any country, they won't, this will not allow me to keep using this tire on my vehicle. So I'll just throw it away. But if the person throws it away and it's not well managed and it just piles up on the landfill, at some point, it will have impact on the environment, it will have impact on the atmosphere. So how do we ensure that we try to maximize some of these waste? So that is another aspect, or that is another subset of the circular economy: upcycling, recycling, reducing, reusing. And going back to the example that Chukudi shared, so there's a place or there's a part of policy in achieving a circular economy. So let me cite the US as an example, because I've seen a little bit here. So in some states in the US, like just like an example of a state, I was in a state sometime last year, and in that state, they don't use nylon, they don't use plastic bag. When you go to the grocery store, they don't use plastic bag. That's in the state of in Washington State and in the city of Seattle. When you go to any grocery store, they add, if you are going to take a plastic bag for your grocery or for whatever you buy, you have to pay. And flying across to another state or moving to another state, I saw them using I'm like, grocery bags. And even in this other part of the US, they don't have the 3-bin system. In Washington State, they have the 3-bin system. You have your food, you have your recyclables, you have your trash that goes to the landfill. And here, the recycling awareness is there, but very, very low. Most houses have just the 1-bin system. So, but later on, going to classes, learning from people, it looks like this one of the cities in Indiana, they tried to scrap off plastic bags, that, oh, we are not going to use plastic bags or nylon bags in our grocery stores. But from above, they tried to like say no, for now in our states, we don't want to use that, we don't want to go to that level. So, but in the state of Washington, that policy allows them to ensure that, oh, we use. Then I started thinking about ShopRite in Nigeria, how, even before I got to know about these things, how I was thinking at some point that how we thinking of the number of plastic bags that they give in ShopRite a day, man. And some people go to ShopRite twice, and some people will do double packaging. They they will do they will say no, 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 it will fall. They will have to double the bag so that it's strong and sturdy and firm enough so that whatever they buy, yes, definitely you need something to carry whatever you have produced. But I was thinking, like 2 or 3 years ago, that what if ShopRite says, oh, if you don't bring your plastic bags, you have to, you have to pay. I mean, if you bring a reusable bag, or if you bring your own shopping bag to the store, that's good. But if we are going to give you a plastic bag or a waste, you have to pay for it. Just thinking of those policies or those measures to kind of reduce. And most people don't use these things; they just store them in their
It's a simple
cupboard.
use.
A lot of things like that. So, circular economy helping us to reduce or minimize waste generated, and even when we have the waste, making it flow back, making the materials flow back to the producer. And if it doesn't have to go back to the producer, we can upcycle, we can reuse it, and make it better for the economy and for the environment. Yeah, so let me pause a little bit now for questions, thoughts, yeah, that any one of us might have. Questions? Okay, guest said he's connecting, so I think he might join us very soon.
Okay, just a little contribution. I think it was at the event that I just left.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe that's why, and it ended quite late.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, so to talk about what we are doing at Clan Initiative, in terms of a circular economy, we've tried, I think in the past 2 or 3 years now, to raise awareness about plastic pollution majorly. So how people can recycle, you know, and we have gone out of our way. We've gone way and beyond because the value of plastic currently, the value of plastic, when people think of the value of what they can get, maybe when we are looking at the market value of maybe a 1 kg or 2 kg or 3 kg, sometimes it's probably low. And from my outreaches, from the advocacies that I've done, people are like, how you ask me to keep 50 pieces of plastics for 10 naira or for 15 naira? No, it doesn't worth it. No, I don't know if Chukwudu remembers. There was a rally that we did at Anthony Village in 2022 with this recycling company. So we're going around and telling people that, oh, recycle, recycle, recycle. If you keep 1 kg, we'll buy it from you at 20 naira, 25 naira. And they'll say, okay, excuse me, how many kg of plastics will make how many pieces of plastic, sorry, how many pieces of plastic will make 1 kg? I'm like, 23, because I don't want to lie to them. I don't want to trick them to say, just 5. So by the time they keep 5 and they say, oh, 5, so what do I do? So but at Clan Initiative, we've tried to go far beyond with the support of donors, with the support of good people, and we've gotten so many big gifts to encourage people to participate in recycling. So I remember in 2021, we did a particular program no, that was 2022. So we did a program in Lagos in 2022, and in 2021 we had one at Ibadan, and the one at Ibadan was even a very major one. It happened around I think in 6 locations in Ibadan, and we gave people food, and that actually enticed people to come out. That I'm bringing my waste to collect rice, to collect groundnut oil, to collect Indomie. So, and we're able to partner with some recycling companies in Ibadan then, and in Lagos. That was really very, very mega because we had prizes. We had a deep freezer, we had a television, and we had a standing fan that we gave to people, and people went out of their way. This happened around Oshodi. People went as far as from Oshodi to the airport to pick plastics, and the person that had the highest quantity of plastics got a deep freezer. Yeah. And the next person, and I'm very, very happy and excited by the second person that got a smart TV, because that was a young chap that went out of her way to, get plastics, and she was able to get a smart TV, which I believe will help her in learning, probably watching YouTube or, helping her study. And the third person that got gift was also a young person. He got a standing fan, and his parents were very, very happy, and they were so proud of him. So yeah, in a way to do our bit or do our best to help people to understand circular economy and participate in it. The most important thing why we're even doing this is to, help people to participate, to engage people. We don't just want to talk about these things and, discuss it and just for our own understanding, but encourage people to participate and be aware. So in our home beats, while I'm preparing to bring up the guest speaker, in our own way, in whatever process or whatever part we can simplify some of this concept of circular economy or sustainability to people around us, to know, to understand that, okay, in Yoruba, for example, that, ike am I I mean, this your plastic should not go to the ocean or river. Do you know we can make something out of it? Like our guest speaker is doing a very, very major job. Like this is your tire, it should not just go to the wrong place. Do you know that this heat wave that we are having, do you know that this flooding that we are having is as a result of, these different issues from improper or indiscriminate management of waste? So, without much ado, I'll bring up our guest speaker for today. I know we are a little bit behind schedule, but Mr. Israel, are you ready for us? Hello. Hello, Israel.
Yeah. Good evening.
Yeah. Okay, good
Hope you
evening.
can hear me.
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you. So let me just read your bio. Let me read the bio of our guest speaker, then would come up to share with us. Yeah, the bio of our guest today. Okeyinka Israel is the creative director of Exousia Purpose, a dedicated climate change advocate and environmentalist whose primary focus lies in harnessing the potential of the circular economy through waste transformation. He bagged a bachelor's degree in environmental science and resources management and currently pursues further studies with a research focus on sustainability, waste management, sustainable agriculture, circular economy, and climate change mitigation. Driven by his profound love and passion for environmental sustainability, with a strong focus on upcycling and waste repurposing, Israel actively volunteers for FAB International Foundation, particularly contributing to the Eco Schools NG project. The project is targeted at the realization of the 6 SDGs 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, and 13, and serves to promote climate action by educating students, especially those in lower income secondary schools and communities in Lagos and Ogun State, Nigeria, become environmentally sustainable. As the team lead for this initiative, he successfully trained more than 4,000 students in essential waste management skills, including food waste composting, recycling, and upcycling. These endeavors not only help to minimize waste, but also address air, land, and water pollution, fostering an environmentally conscious mindset among both teachers and students. Moreover, Israel's exceptional dedication, resilience, and effective knowledge transfer led him to be recognized as the Outstanding Eco Schools NG Volunteer of the Year in 2021. Israel exudes enthusiasm and unwavering motivation, consistently advocating for creative solutions and championing a sustainable and zero-waste environment, as well as biodiversity conservation. He remains committed to raising awareness about sustainable development goals and actively promoting sustainability in all aspects of life. All right. You're welcome, Israel. Thank you.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yeah, I'm sorry I came late. I was, the traffic today was very, very much. But I thank God I got home at least a little bit out of schedule, but I know I will still be able to pass on to information before we call it a day. But I don't know my time limit. I don't know if I have 30, 40 minutes.
Well, I would say 30 minutes. I think most of people we still have here, they are in-house. So yeah,
okay.
So we should be able to take 30 minutes.
I'm excited to be here once again because I always see it as a privilege to always share my own perspective and what I do in the environmental space. And there's this thing that we are doing now, that what is sustainability without partnership? And and this is part of the way we can amplify our voices out there when we come together to share different perspective of what we do and to enact a change in the environment. But because of our time, let's just go straight to the topic that says embracing new attitudes and values towards a circular economy. And in the process, I'll tell you what I do. I know Mr. Ayomide has briefed us a little bit about what I basically transform waste into sustainable products. What you see as a waste is a way of how I eat and drink and wear clothes. So, I got involved, apart from further, because I had a degree in environmental science and resources management some years back, due to the exposure of my knowledge of environmental science. I know the environmental space is very, very big, large. You have the energy, you have the transportation, we have even the health, the recycling, a lot of aspects. So you have to just, to get your message where and to have the right knowledge skill set, you have to focus on one area. That is why I just decided, okay, I think I love this waste. Let me go into the waste management sector and try to drive a change there. And that is why when I see waste in my environment, it's always the passion to do something different, to the environment. And that is why I started volunteering for environmental conscious organizations that want to create a change in the environment in the waste management area. That's why I first volunteered for FAID International Foundation, where I was a team lead for like 2 years for their eco school project, where I was able to train students on upcycling, recycling, and composting. That was where I drew my social exhibition from. Okay, I think I can go into this thing fully. It's been a while. I don't think I've ever worked 9 to 5 before. I don't think so. I think my first contact of work was with my father, and it was just for a while before I started my own, Ozu. When I was younger, my mom used to call me Akutilator. I never knew I was going to come into recycling then. I was very, I used to play with these northern guys, the Aboki guys in my area. And they used to tell me that if you have fridge compressor, you can sell for 1,000 naira. As a young boy, then 1,000 naira is a big money. 1,000. At times it's as if our fridge should just spoil one day and I take it and go and sell. So my mommy just noticed that this guy is always, anything you don't want us to take it for repair, you want to sell out. Okay. So in my journey, I just got to know that they used to recycle these things. Again, they take it to the company, they recycle the metals, they recycle the plastic, so this is what these guys, this is the business they do, and they are in real money, clean money. So when I got into environmental space, that's why I knew, I think God already, casted the shadow of what I would do in the future, but it was misunderstood, and the way I was going about it then. So, but now we can now see that what we are talking about now is the circular economy. The circular economy is the same, we can say it's the same as a green economy. So I don't know if I can share my slide now.
I've made you a co-host, so I think you should be able to do that.
Okay.
Try.
Can you see anything?
Yes.
Okay, I'm coming. Let me just. Okay. So let me just go to the definition of the circular economy. It says, the Oxford Dictionary defines circular economy as an economic system based on the reuse and regeneration of materials or products, especially as a means of continuing production in a sustainable or environmental friendly way. Let me tell you something today. The circular economy is the game changer now. Yes, that is the discussion. Where I was coming from, it was what we have been discussing since morning. I just have to leave. They've not finished the conversation, because I know I will come home to come and facilitate a webinar. We are transitioning into another economy that will be of benefit for our present generation and the future generation. The linear economy, yes, it was favorable for profitability, but for the environment, it is not really what we can say it is sustainable. So there's now a model that we can look into holistically and check, okay, how are we going to see the potential in this economy and drive a changeable force there and also make profit. I will not just be talking about social impact alone now. I'll be talking both the social impact aspect of circular economy and the profitability. And this is what, when I started my social enterprise, my slogan is seeing beyond waste. What you see as a waste is a raw material for another person. So what the circular economy is preaching to us is that our waste products, the raw materials we're using to produce our products? How can we look into these materials? How can they go into circulation again for a long period of time before we can, we can dispose completely? It's not as if we are not going to have a waste. We are not going to incur waste, but how can we make sure that this waste is, goes into circularity for a long period of time before it goes off? And that is what the linear economy could not give to us. I was facilitating somewhere last month. I told the young innovators sponsored by BASF that the industrialists, it's not as if they have done us bad. It's just that they brought us something good for a period of time. And it is now our own time to see into this problem and create a solution, for the future generation. So what we are saying now is that if we are going to implement any idea or you are going to create any innovative solution, you have to see from the lens of sustainability. Make sure that you are caring for the present need and making sure also that you are caring for the future generation. So let's forget about the English. Now, not only on the environmental part alone, you must make sure that your project, your idea is sustainable financially. At times I've not collected any grant from any organization to do any of my projects, and it has been successful because I had to create a sustainable plan for my business model. That, okay, will I be able to succeed in this business without a grant? Because if I will stay on seeking for grants alone, it might not be sustainable. What if I don't get grants? How will I continue? So this is thinking from the lens of sustainability, thinking with the sustainability lens. I hope I'm passing the message. A response?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Since the Industrial Revolution, there has been a lot of water, air, and land pollution as a result of waste produced from industrialization. Yet, a lot of businesses still operate the linear economy that produce more waste. So, a lot of business operates take, make, and dispose model, which is simply known as linear economy. Like I said earlier, the model is known as cradle to grave principle, which is not favorable for our environment. Which means that the product moves on a straight line from birth to death. So now we want a regeneration model where you will see a waste, and it's not a waste, it's a resource. Tire is not a waste, it is a resource. Look at the flyer. I love the concept of how they made the flyer. Look at that tire waste, something that's supposed to dispose improperly. Some used to burn it out during carnage, disposing our clogging our drainages. But I have been able, and some other upcyclers in Nigeria today and all over the world, have been able to think innovatively. Okay, what can we do with this tire waste? Let us make sure it is turned into a sustainable product. Not just a product because you want to create something, you can make money from it, a profitable product, something you can make money from. So that is what the circular economy model supports. It is not just supporting you protecting the environment alone. It supports the full model of sustainability, which is the profit, the planet, and the people. You'll be making a social impact, you'll be making profit, and you'll be saving the environment from environmental pollution. I hope I'll be able to pass that message well with that little point there. It says the linear economy assumes that the resources we have are infinite, that they are inexhaustible, and we always have more resources to work with every time, which is a lie. Nigeria, whether we like it or not, if we are not careful, the reason why we are facing so many, recession over the years is because we have concentrated on one resource in the country where we can look into so many aspects. Let me tell you something today. Circular economy translates all around organizations, all around aspect of life. It's so far there's production and so far there's consumption. You can inculcate the circular economy model and make impact, sustainable impact, and also make profitable income. So far there's production. There will still be production of plastics, there will still be production of metals, There'll still be pressure of so many things. We'll still be driving cars, no matter how civilized we go, we'll still drive cars, and there'll still be tire, people disposing their tire. So which means we can look into different models that how can you, drive a change with waste in the environment. Let me take you down to the basis. You're a caterer, for instance, maybe there's a caterer here. You can inculcate circular economy model in your business. Those eggshells you are using to break your cake can be used as a compost to grow your vegetables. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I think I've been able to, that you can be able to resonate with something simple that way. You can break it down, grind it. Eggshells is made of calcium. Yes, it's made of calcium, which is very good. You can use it for, dog feeds and a lot of things you can use those eggshells for, which means you are not just baking the cake, you are using part of your raw materials, which later is a waste during the process of production, also as another resource for another production. That is what circular economy, gives us. Between 2015 and 2021, 70% more virgin materials were extracted than what the earth can safely replenish. Half a trillion tons of virgin materials were consumed in 6 years. In 50 years, global use of materials has nearly quadrupled, outpacing population growth. Our take-make-waste economy consumes 100 billion tons of materials a year and waste over. The shift towards circular economy. Rethink model for a circular economy, rethink consumption and resource use. There was a time I was able to pass a grant writing thing for a project that they were trying to source for funding from Coca-Cola. And I was in a conference, Coca-Cola conference, 2021 that year. I just took a little bit of screenshot of their action plan for the next five, for 2020, 2025, 2025 to 2030. So that material got the organization that grant, and with other partnership with Loma and Loma, Fibra, Pacam, and so on. Because Coca-Cola companies like Coca-Cola now have rethink plan for their products. They are trying to make sure that at least 70 to 80% of their production materials is made up of recyclables. They are trying to transition into circular economy because they are part of the major polluters of our environment with plastic waste, single-use plastics, which is a serious menace to the environment, which I am also driving a change towards that, trying to make sure I'm also involved in recycling consulting and also a plastic waste upcycler. I turn plastic waste to so many things, so many beautiful things that it's sellable and acceptable out there. So many companies are rethinking. So we need to begin to rethink our business models if we are going to really achieve the circular economy, the green economy for the sustainable future we are looking at. But before I continue, I want us to know something today, that any change you are about to drive for the future or for any business, that change must start from you. And that is what inspired that topic, embracing new attitudes and values. It must start from you. You must first be the change. You must first be the change. You are the change maker. So before you drive any change, what are the things? For example, now, I know there are so many things there are so many examples. For example, I'm a waste manager, focusing on upcycling and repurposing. The first thing I must first do is that do I have a behavioral change to an environment? How do I dispose or sort my waste at home? It starts from there. How do you sort your waste at home? Your plastic waste at home, your kitchen waste at home, your food waste. Let me tell you something. I can go on and tell you opportunities in your food waste. I did a training, I completed a training September 1st on biogas training, where we're able to use cow dung, kitchen waste as fuel. When I mean for biogas, we're able to convert kitchen waste, cow dung, pig dung into biogas, on a small scale level, which I'm still, I still want to harness the potential of anything called waste. anything called waste. And I know God will give me the grace to do that. So there are so many opportunities you can see this thing if you begin to rethink and refuse. I want to rush through because of my time. You begin to refuse certain things. What are the things that have polluted our environment? What are the things that are not sustainable in the environment again? You begin to, okay, we need to change our ways. And I know Nigeria cannot completely or outrightly refuse single-use plastic now. They had a plastic free this year. They are trying to ban plastic waste, which I know it is not, it is not 100% possible. We'll just give ourselves a recycler was talking last month on a webinar like this, and he told us the truth that if we are expecting them to ban plastic in the environment, we are deceiving ourselves. We must begin to look into the plastic, the plastic production model and see how we can harness other ways of circularity. And this is an opportunity for we young innovators to, to begin to think, okay, these are the things we can do to make, to make the impact we need for our environment and for our own personal lives. And one other thing is that we need to look at the reducing model too. As much as possible, reduce consumption of energy and natural resources. And this is what I'm saying about you yourself. How do you, switch off your lights when you leave the house every day? At times, these are the things you see if you know you are the real change. You are leaving your house, all your lights are on, your fan are still on. You said because you don't want to miss it's because you are not yet conscious. It is not yet in your subconsciousness. If it's your subconsciousness, as you are leaving the house, you lay your bed. Number one habit, you lay your bed first, you switch off your light, you switch off your fan, and you make sure that every socket in the house is switched off. You move. That is where you can see that you are ready for the change. Because when challenges come, you know that out of your subconsciousness will always tell you that you can do it, you can forge ahead. Reuse. What we are doing here now in my social enterprise, that we reuse waste materials, plastic and tires. Waste materials we reuse. So we begin to look at how you can begin to reuse certain waste that in your environment, that you see in your environment. Begin to think outside the box, that how can I reuse these things? Repair, repurpose, refurbish, and recycle. I think Mr. Ayomide was talking about recycling before I came in. There are so many opportunities in recycling. Yeah, this last month was just full of so many opportunities. One of my friends reached out to me that one man from Benin Republic is looking for HDP regrained, and he wants it in 40-feet container. That's a lot of money. All my recyclers friends I called, hello, I beg, we need money. So they told us, okay, we cannot get the 40-feet container immediately. So, okay, how many months we can get it between 1 month? Someone was saying it will get us 5 tons for like 3 days. I said, please, I beg. I told my guy, if you don't have any financial person, I have a financial person that can help us make profit with this business. And that business, that's fine. Because the man is already in Nigeria. And we'll go and do the, everything for him, just package it. Because this is what we are saying. There are so many opportunities in the recycling, industry now. Don't see it as Uncle Dodo, I want dirty. Look at them. When you come to my house now, at the back of my house, you see plastic. In front of the first person that will first welcome you is my tire waste in front of my door. Yes, I stacked it well, tarpaulin, and when you look at the head, you see another tarpaulin covered with tire. Because anytime I can receive orders. There was a time an hotel reached out to me to produce like 8 tire seats for them. I could not. I built them that I will go and buy these tires from the organizers, which I've already done, months back. I've forgotten I've spent the money. So I build them for each tire that I'm going to use. For one tire is 2,000. Reuse is not new tire, it's 2,000. Put it there. So just look at it. Before you know, I've been able to make money from waste. So these are the things we are to look into. You might not come into the tire plastic this thing. What I'm just trying to do, I want to cast a shadow of change in us. Look into things around you. a lot of business models you can begin to look into in the environmental space that involves circular economy. Please, let's continue because of our time. Now, I promised I was going to explain what I do in auxiliary purpose. Let me just do that between a few minutes. Auxiliary purpose is positioned to revolutionize the concept of waste management through circular economy principles. Through repurposing and upcycling, we give life to waste materials, especially plastic and tire waste. Now, how is your business model or your idea, supporting the SDGs? One very important thing about circular economy is that as you are making profit, the social impact is very, very important too. You must, it must align with the sustainable development goals. And I think there's a time limit for this SDGs. That is 2030, if I'm correct. So we have how many years now? We have just few years. Now, our model here, we suppose no poverty. When we make money from waste, what happened? You understand my Yoruba? For those that don't understand, now for you understand Yoruba. Yes, we don't need to ask for urgent 2K from anybody. You understand? We'll be the one giving urgent 2K, because when you come inside my house, I know just give me few days to just sit down and think. I have so many ideas about ways I can fully tell you I'm an upcycling expert in what I do. I'm an expert in what I do. So that's just it. And we give quality education. We do climate education through our advocacy, climate education. And we promote responsible consumption and production, which is what we are talking about, the circular economy model. And our enterprise support, climate action. Because when we go out for advocacy, we talk about climate change, plastic waste pollution, how it affects the climate. When we're trying to make sure that they stop, this massive pollution, massive production of plastic. There are so many plastics, truthfully and sincerely, that should be banned. Let's be sincere with ourselves. There are so many plastics that should be banned. But I know they cannot ban all, but these are the things we need to begin to see, that your business model, your idea, your innovation, what SDGs are they aligning with? So we support we align with Live Water when we don't allow the plastic, to be disposed into the river or our waterways. We are protecting our marine biodiversity. Life on land, we make sure that we reduce environmental pollution, on our dump site. We reduce plastic waste, we reduce tire waste on our dump site. We don't support burning of tires, we don't support burning of plastics, and also very, very important, partnership for the goals. We cannot achieve, an inclusive green economy without, the right partnership. Yoruba will say, one tree cannot make a forest. One tree cannot make a forest. You need to collaborate, you need to partner. And that's why I have leagues of youth, young minds. I'll be working with an organization this September 29. We are going to secondary primary schools to talk about climate change. And the lady, she's using Game app to talk about climate action. She's using Game app. So you can download a Game app on Android, and the game will be telling you about climate crisis and how to solve climate change crisis. So people are thinking. So it's not until you are a recycler or you are an upcycler. There are so many. I know the other time that it's spread across engineering, finance. We have people in the ESG, the finance. We have so many people that there are courses in London now doing climate finance, carbon markets, MSc in carbon markets, a lot of carbon credits, a lot of courses around these things. So people are thinking, people are innovating, people are transitioning into different things that will make us align with this model properly. So through empowering individuals, schools, and communities, the Auxiliary Purpose collaborates with other organizations to take a stand against poverty and contribute our quota to ensuring that everyone gets quality education. You can see me, some of my pictures in schools and communities. That the first picture there, that's Iwaya, where I went to the slum. It was not easy. It's not all the city in Lagos that they speak your language. Some people don't understand even broken English. They don't even understand broken English. How do you communicate? I remembered Iwaya. You know, I'm an advocate for simpler terms when explaining climate change. I used to tell people, and that's what I was discussing today with some of my colleagues in the environmental space, that let's try and begin to break this thing. When you go to the slum, they don't understand net zero. They don't understand greenhouse emission. How do you explain all these things to them? You need to come down to their level, explain accurately. Just go. I spoke Yoruba all through because they said that is the language they understood. So I spoke my language. The feedback, I was almost crying. A man said, I've not seen something like this before in my life. So I can make money from this. I taught them so many things that day. I taught them how to make a tire storage. I taught them how to make a tire center table. You know, I gave them my best. I was not holding any of my skills. And this is what I do when I go to schools. I don't hold skills because I cannot do the job alone. You have to, there are so many people that you must, at times you have to just tell people your solution because you know you cannot amplify it alone. So and that's why we need to take, have opportunity of discussing about so many things. Somebody was talking to me today that let's try and get somebody that can communicate pidgin English and teach climate change with pidgin English. And if anybody is here and you have anybody, please reach out to any one of us. You can reach out to Mr. Ayomide, you can reach out to me on my Instagram page, anywhere. Let's bring out these people. We can even say, if they don't know about climate change, we can send them materials to read. They will come out, we promote the page, people understand what we are talking about. And this is how we can spread the news. There are a lot of opportunities. So we teach and practice environmental sustainability. So we don't just talk. These things, I don't like talking more because I've talked all my life. I started teaching at a very tender age. So I like practical things. So I like to teach. One thing I love more is to go for advocacy and train. So if you want to do me well, you tell me, Mr. Israel, please, we have a partnership with we want to train schools, we want to train communities. You have blessed my soul. So that is what I do. And I know
we have many coming very soon. We have many coming very soon.
I know God has a way of doing his things. So there are so many ways. And of course, apart from the social impact, the profitability, like I said, very, very important. We need to make money. Sustainability without money is a dream. Sustainability without finance is a dream. Sustainability is the finance. See, if you don't get anything, get that one today. Sustainability without finance is a dream. Sustainability is the finance. So look at me now. I just said, okay, because I had the opportunity of exhibiting some of my beautiful materials, I began to sell to, to governors, sell to, House of Assemblies. They've ordered some of my products in the House of Assembly. We're able to, send some of our products to the governor's house, stuff like that. But how do I, fulfill that social impact? So most of the profits I make for my, when I said to the high class, the urban people, how do I minister my message to the indigent communities? Now, I sell one tire mirror for around 40K to 50K. Because I can't see an House of Rep member coming from me. Hello, what are you doing there? I came to my exhibition booth and I said it's 20,000 or 10,000. Come on, what's the value? Because I have to, this I'm talking now, I'm going to the sales, this thing. So you understand. But how do I now do the social impact well? That because innovation is meant to be simpler, better, faster, and valuable and cheaper. So when you're innovating something and it's not cheap for people to access, there will be a problem too. You are not filling the gap. So this is what I do. I make sure that the little profit I make from selling to the high class, I go down to train the rural communities and tell them the secret of how to make these things with a low cost rate. I hope you understand me. So now I cannot tell anybody there that, okay, this is the amount I used to produce this thing. My own is that the finishing should be sellable. But how do you communicate your social enterprise product to the indigent communities. Will I go to indigent communities and say, I want to sell one tire seat for you 50,000? Ah, Nibo, we don't have. No. What will I do? Just okay, I can train you on how to do this thing, and you begin to make money from it. So I think I've been able to explain a little bit of social enterprise model for us there. Our work model activity support, like I've said that earlier on, you can see some of our products. Look at tire mirrors. They are beautiful tire mirrors. Is the flyer verses for when I train younger ones, like primary school students, if they cannot undo the big objects, we teach them the lower stops. So there are so many things we can, through our innovation, we have reduced landfill waste, conserve resources, thereby mitigating climate change. Because upcycling skills mitigate climate change. Upcycling skills mitigate climate change and reduce environmental pollution. So, like I said, at Exodia Purpose, we promote circular economy by demonstrating the waste is not just a problem, but an opportunity for innovative solution. Somebody say waste is not a problem. I want you to say it. Waste is not a problem.
Waste is not a problem.
So, when we do all those teaching, this thing, that's how we used to carry our students along.
Nice.
Tell them to, yeah. So waste is not a problem. So if you are interested in so many things, just go through study. Yesterday, for 3 days now, I've not been sleeping well because I'm just studying about a lot of things that we can incorporate into our business models, and new ideas about sustainability, how we can partner. A lot of researches have gone even abroad. But when you take this global knowledge, you need to come home and come and implement it as a local solution. So it is not going global, it's going local. Global knowledge, local solution. Global knowledge, local solution. You see your environment, what is in my environment might not be plastic waste. What in your environment might be food waste. So you can't say, waste in the environment, or there's plastic in the environment and there's no plastic waste in the environment. So you have to look at the type of problem environment and get the necessary knowledge set for it to come and solve it locally. I hope I've been able to, explain certain things. I know I've passed my time. Should I continue, or if there are any questions?
Really amazing. Thank you so much, Israel. I'm happy that God made this possible. We would have missed a whole lot from this happening. So I plan that we cap up or wrap up everything around 1:30. So if you can take like 2 more minutes, and if anyone has questions, if you have questions, you can just raise your hand now so that we know, you can signify so that we know you have questions. But Israel, if you have any other thoughts, if you have any other thing you want to say in closing, you can just mention them. But this has been very, very insightful and informative, and thank you for the energy. I really love the the energy you bring to explaining and expressing and sharing everything. Yeah, thanks. So yeah, if you have any other thing to say, just share. Yeah,
is that circular economy is a whole ecosystem on its own, and we can take advantage of is a full-fledged market, and we have not scratched the surface at all. We've not harnessed the potential. So we need people to begin to think out of the box, and don't think too much. Just involve. Go and I'm giving everybody a challenge. Go on Google, go and learn about what is called sustainability. You see different articles of sustainability. Go to universities in maybe US and some other schools online. Go to their website. Go to courses around sustainability. Go and check the articles of professors and doctors that have done projects on sustainability. Read their articles, and you will see that we have not scratched a bit in Nigeria, in Africa at large. So it's a full-fledged market that when we begin to look into it, you forget that you're a lawyer. You forget that you're a doctor. You see yourself that, people don't know they are multi-talented because you don't have the knowledge. That's why you don't know you are multi-talented. When the right knowledge set enter into your life, you know that you can do many things. I never knew I could be able to join one thing together. When I was growing up, I never involved myself in anything technical or vocational skills. But when I finished, what will we do? I was in London 2019. My brother was talking to me that, Oga, what do you go do now, sir? You know, I'm a child of God. I'm a faith person. So I have a student ministry. Then I go all around. So they thought, I think this guy is going into the full-time ministry. But I knew that there was something missing within me there. You know, I just have to sit down and I know there's something until I begin to sit. So I went into isolation for like a year. I didn't submit any CV anywhere. I would just be on my system, the little savings I have, the little help here and there. I was just eating, drinking, and studying until I got into the space. And I think I can fulfill purpose in this area. Apart from the normal thing they know me to be, that this guy is that. You know, when I come out these days and people see my picture everywhere, well, guy, we don't even know what you do again. We'll see you are doing this one today, you are doing that tomorrow. Sustainability will open different skill sets in you, different potentials that you have in you. Go into study, go into researches, and you see that there are a lot of things we have to dig into. And when what you are digging into, you are not digging shit, you are digging wealth. You are digging wealth. You are digging into wealth for yourself and future generations. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you so much. This has been, man, so super amazing. Yeah, I know we are right behind schedule, but it was worth the time. Yeah, for me, and I think for every other person here, it's been worth the time, the extra time that we had to spend to wait for Israel. Yeah, and thank you so much, despite the little bit each of trying to get home on time and joining the webinar. Thank you. We do appreciate your coming as our guest for the month of September. Any questions, any thoughts? And if you remember later, you can just chat Israel Hope on Instagram, or you can just send me a message. Then I can always pass it across to Israel. Yeah, in the absence of any questions or comments or thoughts, okay, there's a question, there's a comment, okay, there's a comment. Wow, I learned a new practical example of sustainability. Yeah, nice. I'm happy you learned that, Tuluani. Thank you. So in the absence of any question, comments, suggestion, we will be drawing the curtain for this month's webinar. I'm very excited that this was possible. God made it possible, and our guest was able to make it to share so many insights, information, and tips with us. Like, if you check the chat box is on fire with so many other things. So we'll try to make this available on YouTube, so you can check our YouTube page in the next 2 or 3 days. Definitely you'll find today's webinar on our YouTube page. Thank you so much for joining us again this month of September, and watch out for another very amazing, bigger one in the month of October. Thank you so much. Do have a very lovely weekend, and yeah, see you next month. See you in October. Bye.